Alright, so here we are on day 3 of the Falcons tutorial. So what I want to do is today cut these red accents right here and also cut the gray border, which will be in between these two vectors right here. So the first thing we want to do is our red accent. So let's go ahead and select every one of those. And don't forget about this one here. And then simply go to our V-carve engraving toolpath. Set our start depth, of course, to 0 because we're engraving on top of the black epoxy. A flat depth of 0.15. Our 30-degree quarter-inch V-bit. We're going to take off the clearance tool because it just won't fit in here anyway. So that's really all we have to do. So just name it Day 3, Step 1, Red Accents. And there we go. So let's run our white section simulation here and our V-pit. Alright, so there we go. We've got our white section all cut out. So let's take a look and see how the red accents are going to look. And they look perfect. Alright, so now we're going to cut our gray border. Our gray border is actually going to be cut out of the white epoxy. It's going to be right in here. It gets thin as it goes around the beak. So what we're going to do is go back to our 2D view. We're going to select the two vectors of our border and then simply go back to our V-carve engraving toolpath. Start depth of 0 again. Flat depth of 0.15. Now we could use a 1/4-inch end mill to do some clearing, but it's such a small area. I'm just going to take that off anyway and just let the V-bit clear everything out. It takes a little bit longer, but really it's a small area. It's not going to take that much longer. And then just name this Day 3, Step 2, Gray Border. Alright, now if we run it, we really won't see anything because this is already cut out because of the white border. One thing I want to mention is usually I only pour one color of epoxy per day, but since these, the red accents are so far away from the gray border, there's no chance of them bleeding over and the colors running together. So this is one of those rare chances where you get to pour 2 colors in one day and move the logo along faster. So we've got that all set. Let's go ahead and we'll save our tool paths and then send it over to the CNC, get those cut, and then fill them with our red and gray epoxy. Alright, so we're getting ready to start and send that tool path to the x-carve. I've got our file loaded, Day 3, Step 1, Red Accents. This is in Pick Sender. This works great. What I do is, in the beginning, I lower the feed rate down to 40% and then ramp it up as needed. I run it low and slow so you get a better result. But, use your own feed rate and plunge rate for, your machine. So everything's loaded. Let's go ahead and let's start up the spindle and send the job. Alright, so I just want to show this. I have my red here, my red epoxy all mixed up, but that's just red right there, right? So that's a really bright color red. And on the Falcons logo, it's a little bit darker of a red for the accents. So normally what you would do is you'd go and you'd throw black in and you think that darkens it up, but that actually will change it to a completely different color than a darker red. So what I do is I use the color wheel here and I do a complementary color. So, across from here is green. So I add a little bit of green to the red to get a little bit darker. So let's see. Well,